Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a deep dive into, well, the often overlooked but absolutely crucial world of certified legal document translations for Portugal. If you're looking to navigate visas, citizenship, maybe even study in Portugal, you might think, oh, document translation, that's straightforward.
Yeah.
But as we'll discover, it can quickly become a pretty big hurdle, especially with that massive backlog Portugal's immigration system is facing right now. So, our mission today, cut through the noise, maybe reveal some surprising facts, and just offer clear, actionable insights so you can get your documents accepted, without a hitch.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how often the translation itself becomes the absolute linchpin of the whole application. I mean, we're talking about a system facing, over 400,000 pending applications as of 2025. It's huge. And honestly, one of the most common reasons for delays or worse, rejections, is simply improperly translated documents. So we're going to explore why getting this right isn't just about accuracy. It's really about understanding a very specific legal and administrative landscape. You've got to avoid those pitfalls.
Okay, so let's turn to what makes Portugal's system really different here. When it comes to document certification, it's not like some places where you just hunt down a, quote, sworn translator. Portugal has its own unique rulebook. It's all laid out in decree law. And 237-201, that's the key legal piece here, governing how official translations get certified and accepted, understanding these specific authorized paths. That can make all the difference for your application. Can you maybe walk us through those specific avenues?
Absolutely. And it's important because there are several distinct paths. You need to be aware of them. So documents can be certified by lawyers and solicitors, provided they're registered with the Portuguese Bar Association. That's one way. Or you can go to notary offices, the cartórios, notarias. You'll find them all over Portugal. You can also use civil registry offices, chambers of commerce, or even Portuguese embassies and consulates anywhere in the world. So yeah, it's quite a multifaceted system, really designed to ensure authenticity.
That is a comprehensive list. Lots of options. But it does raise a question, doesn't it? With all those paths, are there common mistakes people make? Or risks they take that they, really shouldn't?
That really raises the key question. Why take the risk? I mean, you might think you can get by with an English, French, or maybe Spanish document because technically, yeah, there's an exemption if the official handling your case happens to be proficient in that language. But here's the kicker. You absolutely cannot predict who that official will be. It's pure chance. So if the person who gets your file doesn't speak the language, you could find yourself scrambling to meet a deadline, or worse, your application just gets closed. And look, beyond the practical side, it's also about showing a fundamental respect for Portugal, for its language. It shows your commitment as an applicant.
Right, respect is key. So what exactly are we talking about here when we say documents that need translating? I mean, whether you're moving for work, studying, starting a business, there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to speak Portuguese. For immigration, you're usually looking at things like birth certificates, marriage certificates, drug criminal record checks, bank statements, employment contracts, proof of income, maybe medical certificates too. From your experience, are there any on that immigration list people often forget, or ones that are particularly tricky to translate?
That's a good question. Criminal record checks, well, they're often tricky, not because they're complex, but because they expire so darn quickly. We should definitely touch on that later. Also, things like medical certificates. They need incredibly precise terminology to be accepted, especially if you're dealing with, say, the SNS, Portugal's National Health Service. Precision is vital there.
Good to know. Okay, moving on to studying. If you're planning academic work in Portugal, check. You'll likely need certified translations of diplomas, degrees, academic transcripts, maybe course descriptions, letters of recommendation, research papers, professional certificates, training records. It's quite a list. And then for business and legal stuff, we're looking at commercial contracts, company registration docs, financial statements, power of attorney, court documents, patents, trademarks, tax documents. Wow. It really covers pretty much every aspect of life, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, yeah. Now, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, a really smooth professional translation process is just essential. It's key to avoiding those application delays we mentioned earlier. So when you're looking for a service, what you really want is a clear, secure path, like a multi-step path from sending your documents off to getting those certified translations back. Usually it kicks off with you sending your documents digitally, securely. Confidentiality has to be top priority.
Okay, so you send the documents securely. Then what? What's next in a good process?
Well, pretty quickly. Usually within a few hours, you should expect a detailed quote, a price proposal. It should come with a secure payment link and, importantly, a clear estimate of when you'll get it back, the delivery timeline. Once you sort the payment, the actual translation work starts. And look, good services, reputable ones, they'll assign your stuff to certified native Portuguese speakers, people with specific legal know-how, often with advanced degrees, years of experience in the specific field.
That makes sense. Native speakers with expertise. What about checking the quality and getting the final documents?
Right. The next step is crucial. Quality review. A second linguist should check everything rigorously. That's vital. Then they apply the right certification. Maybe it's notarization, maybe an apostille, maybe embassy certification. It depends on what you actually need. And for delivery, usually they send the certified translations back via secure email. Standard time frame. Often 24 to 48 hours for most things. Pretty quick. Now, if you need physical copies, yeah, most services offer express courier options like DHL, but expect extra fees for that. So, key things to look for: transparent pricing, clear timelines, strong security.
Sounds very thorough. And thinking about the global reach needed, it's definitely not just English to Portuguese, is it? I mean, we're talking certified translations from a huge range of languages into Portuguese.
Exactly. Yeah, top-tier service has to handle that. We're talking translations from over 120 languages into Portuguese, and that covers a massive range. You know, the common European ones like Spanish, French, German, Italian, Dutch, Polish, Russian, Ukrainian, but also Asian and Middle Eastern languages: Chinese, Hindi, Arabic, Japanese, Korean, Turkish, Hebrew, Farsi, Urdu. And don't forget African languages and others like Cape Verdean Creole, Swahili, Yoruba, Amharic, Afrikaans. Basically, the goal is ensuring almost any document from anywhere can find its proper voice in Portugal.
So it's not just the breadth of languages, but also the depth of knowledge that makes a service stand out, right? Especially navigating Portugal-specific rules. What specific areas should people be looking for in terms of that specialized knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely. Depth matters when you're choosing. Understanding the specific needs of agencies like AIMA, that's the Agency for Integration, Migrations, and Asylum, or the SNS, the Health Service, that's paramount. So for immigration, for visas, it means hitting those precise AIM requirements, whether it's a D7, golden visa, digital nomad, family reunification, and crucially, staying up to date on the latest law changes. Things shift. For academic stuff, it's about complying with Decree Law 662/18. That governs how academic qualifications are recognized. And you need to know the right Portuguese education terminology.
Okay, and what about for business or medical documents?
For business, it's all about accurate legal terms. Company setup, contracts, financial statements, tax docs. Understanding Portuguese commercial law is key. And medical. Absolute accuracy is non-negotiable for SNS requirements. Think medical reports, vaccination records, prescriptions. The terms have to be spot on. And look, crucially, when you're sizing up a service, look for recognized quality standards like ISO 17100.2015. That's the international standard for translation quality control. It means they have rigorous processes. Also, check, do they use only native Portuguese translators? And do they understand the difference between European and Brazilian Portuguese? Because sometimes that distinction really matters for official acceptance.
Right, so ISO certification, native speakers.
Yeah.
Key points. What about guarantees, security?
Well, a big sign of quality is commitment to accuracy. Often, that's backed by guarantees, like offering free revisions if needed. And look at their track record. What's their acceptance rate by authorities? Confidentiality is also huge. You need robust security. Bank-level encryption for data, being GDPR compliant, making sure your personal info is handled safely. Oh, and good services often help guide you on those extra steps too, like getting an apostille or embassy legalization if you need it.
Okay, let's quickly try and demystify some terms people will hear. You mentioned certified, notarized, apostille translations. Practically speaking, what's the difference? And what do you usually need for Portugal?
Good question. So a certified translation basically has a signed statement from the translator saying, yes, this is accurate and complete. Simple as that. A notarized translation goes a step further. A notary public verifies the translator's identity and witnesses their signature on that certification statement. And then an apostille translation that involves an extra international certificate under the Hague Convention. It basically makes the document recognized legally in other member countries.
Okay, so 3 levels. Which one do most folks need when dealing with Portugal?
For most applications going to Portugal, like immigration, a certified translation is generally what's required and usually enough. However, big caveat. If your original documents come from outside the EU, they will very often need an apostille on top of that to be fully accepted by the Portuguese authorities.
Got it. Certified is standard, but non-EU often needs that apostille boost. And then the big question everyone asks, how fast can you get these translations back? Bureaucracy can drag, but what about the translation part itself?
Yeah, turnaround is usually pretty quick for the translation part. Standard is often 24 to 48 hours for most documents. Need it faster. Same-day express service is often an option for really urgent stuff. If it's a really complex document, maybe like a long legal contract, it might take 3 to 5 business days. But, and this is important, it's not just about raw speed. You've got to plan ahead, especially during peak immigration seasons. Think March to May, and again September to November. Definitely allow extra time then. Oh, and just to confirm for listeners, yes, these professional services usually translate from Portuguese into other languages too, often over 120 of them. And critically, when done right by a certified professional, these translations are accepted by all Portuguese authorities: AIMA, universities, the tax authority, Social Security, registry offices, courts, all the government ministries. They know the requirements. Now, this is maybe one of the most critical bits of info you can take away today. Document validity periods, super important. For example, things like birth certificates, marriage certificates, other civil status documents. They're typically only valid for 6 months from the date they were issued. 6 months isn't long. But here's the real kicker. Criminal record certificates. Often, they're only valid for 90 days, just 3 months from the issue date. Now, if you connect that to the bigger picture, it just hammers home why planning ahead, being proactive isn't just, a good idea. It's absolutely essential if you want your application to succeed. Honestly, you don't want to go through getting the perfect translation only to find out your original document expired before you could submit everything. So please don't wait till the last minute.
Wow, okay. We've certainly unpacked quite a bit today, hopefully giving you a much clearer roadmap for what can seem like a really daunting journey into Portuguese document translation. You should now have a pretty comprehensive understanding of why precise certified translations are, well, non-negotiable, and what makes Portugal's system unique, and how choosing the right expert guidance, a streamlined process, can save you from really costly delays or even rejection. It's kind of a shortcut, hopefully, to being well-informed on a topic that's complex but just so crucial.
So, what does this all really mean for you, the listener? I think beyond just the nuts and bolts of translation, it's worth considering how that thorough preparation, that clear understanding of the cultural nuances, right down to respecting the language of the country you're moving to or dealing with, how all that can profoundly impact your overall experience, your success in a new place like Portugal. It really isn't just about getting documents checked off a list. It's about setting the stage for a smoother integration, a successful new chapter in your life.